Deep in Europe's forgotten forests, a silent war is brewing. Brown bears roam freely, powerful and fearless. Wolves stalk the night, coordinated and cunning. And wild boars? They swarm the land like an unstoppable force, tearing through farms, cities, and silence itself. What once belonged to the wild is now at our doorstep. These animals aren't just surviving, they're multiplying, adapting, pushing into human territory like never before. The question isn't if they'll come closer. The question is, what will we do when they do? From broken fences to bloodied livestock, from deep woods to city streets, their presence is rewriting the rules. This is a story of conflict, control, and nature's rising power. Are these creatures victims of our expansion? Or are we becoming victims of theirs? In the rising heat of central Texas, the wild boar moves like a living storm through brush and farmland, thick hide glinting in the sun and tusks carving scent into the earth. These animals are not just pests, they are sentinels of chaos. Their population has exploded, crops vanish, fences collapse, ecosystems wobble. Yet amid the turmoil, hope emerges. A team of scientists from Texas A&W University and DM University has stepped forward, armed not with guns, but with innovation. Using smart trapping methods. These researchers are rewriting the rules of wildlife control. They are not simply hunting boars, they are managing ecosystems. They are not wiping them out. They are restoring balance. Their goal: a sustainable system that protects both human communities and the environment. With surveillance cameras that watch without intruding, GPS monitors that track movement across miles, and data-driven maps of boar hotspots, they are turning chaos into calculated strategy. Through every temperature reading, every terrain scan, and every motion detected, they learn, they adapt, they plan. As 2024 dawns, the large-scale trapping campaign begins. It is no blind hunt. It is a science-driven operation that moves at pace with boar behavior. Each trap is placed where boars feed, wallow, or travel late at night. Using surveillance footage and tracking data, the researchers avoid guesswork, and guest traps succeed more often than not. When boars approach, they see only familiar terrain and accepted food, never suspicion. This results in higher capture rates and fewer false triggers. Large steel traps, drop door or cage styles, stand ready, built to withstand strength, weight, and pressure. Each unit is portable. One person can set it up quickly even in remote woods. Once a boar enters, a camera registers its presence. A remote trigger closes the door instantly with no damage inflicted. No chaos, no suffering. Only control and efficiency. The team moves fast from one site to another, checked and permitted by local authorities. Safety is paramount. Residential areas are avoided. Every trap is legal, every step transparent, but traps alone are not enough. Baiting strategies matter. Instead of rushing in, the team begins with food only. Fermented corn, custom blends, they scatter it day after day. Boars start to trust that area. Over time, entry grows comfortable. Then, the trap goes live. The animals walk right in. No stress, no panic, just control. This approach is ethical and increases safety for all involved. Meanwhile, communication with landowners builds trust. Farmers know which fields are surveyed. No surprises, no conflicts. In certain counties, Hay, Cordwell, and others, a unique incentive program has taken root. Residents bring in boar tails and collect $5 per tail. It's not just payment, it's empowerment. Local people join the effort. In some places, hundreds of boars are caught each week. The effort grows organically as neighbors speak. To neighbors, this isn't a top-down campaign. It's a community rising, a grassroots revival of control and conservation working together. Yet management isn't only about traps and rewards. It's also about bow hunting. In the dense forest, A hunter moves silently on foot. Every step is precise. The wind, the terrain, the light all play their part. Hunters learn to read the land. Bow drawn, arrow drawn tight. One perfect moment, then release. One shot. Impactful. Humane. In Texas, hunters track dominant males weighing 300 pounds or more. When conditions align, wind steady, visibility clear, position solid, the hunt becomes poetry in motion. Each arrow that flies true is the result of silent patience and split-second judgment. Yet uncertainty cannot be eliminated. A boar senses danger. It runs. Sometimes the leader escapes. Then the hunter pivots, targets a smaller boar, pulls, hits, success. That tense pivot between focus and reaction defines the chase, because nature doesn't forgive hesitation. Over centuries, hunting. Dogs have been loyal allies in these wild pursuits. Trained with care, specialists and veterinarians condition them to face dangerous boars without risk. Law mandates a maximum of 4 to 6 hours of work per day to prevent exhaustion and heat stress. Each dog wears a GPS collar and a radio. The handler knows its location at all times. At least 3 dogs work together. Lone confrontations are forbidden. If a dog is bitten or injured, the hunt stops. Slow recovery follows. Safety is non-negotiable. These dogs are not tools. They are teammates, and their well-being is integral to successful hunts. But why go to such lengths? Why all this preparation? Because boars are not just wild animals. They are a destructive force. On June 12, 2024, a single pack devastated 15 acres of corn in a matter of hours. 15 acres. An economic strike worth $400 million. Fences ripped, irrigation ruined, machines crushed. Farmers watched their fields collapse under a wave of tusks and hooves. A disaster in black soil. It was not random. It was methodical. Wild boars traveled. They ripped. They consumed. They devastated. And nothing stopped them until the damage was total. Their success stems from biological advantage. A female boar can breed as early as 6 months old. She can produce litters of up to 13 piglets frequently. With abundant food and mild climate, their population doubles rapidly. 90+% of diet is plants. But when nuts and acorns fail in winter, they dig, they forage, they uproot roots and invertebrates, reshaping soil wherever they go. Golf courses, suburban yards, gardens, wetlands, nothing is safe. And because of their adaptability, they thrive in urban fringes. They disperse into neighborhoods. They dig under fences. They spread disease. They challenge containment. They challenge us. Yet in this destruction lies opportunity, a movement toward sustainability. In Texas, wild boar hunting has become a tradition, but also a solution. Restaurants feature boar meat. Local butchers promote boar cuts. Markets advertise wild game. Diners praise flavor and low ecological footprint. And as hunters bring boars to table, they close a loop. Hunt, harvest, consume, reduce population. It's a cycle balancing nature and human needs. It's innovation born from necessity. It's cuisine linked to control. This blending of culture and conservation doesn't erase the boar. It redefines the relationship. It turns nature's excess into community strength. It rewards participation. It changes minds. Farmers join hunters. Chefs support science. Citizens talk openly about management. The conversation shifts from destruction to stewardship. Yes, challenges remain. Each trap costs money. Technology requires training. Hunters need permits and licensing. Dogs need veterinary care. Communities require coordination. But every cost is a step toward balance. And every captured boar is a step toward stability. Every planting spared. Every garden saved. Every ecosystem restored. In this system, boars lose only because they overpopulate. Humans lose only when they ignore their impact. And nature begins to heal when management is smart, compassionate, and inclusive. Remote cameras, strategic traps, community incentives, expert hunters, trained dogs, these are not separate tools. They are parts of a system that works because it respects limits, data, and life. Texas teaches us something vital. That science and tradition can coexist. That hunger and heritage can be balanced. That a destructive species can become a symbol of stewardship when handled wisely. In a world shifting ever faster, Central Texas stands as proof. We can manage wild chaos with human creativity. We can protect farms, neighborhoods, and ecosystems at once. We can eat, conserve, and sustain. If you've ever walked those fields as boars trampled seedlings or watched your fences bow under pressure, you know what's at stake. If you've sat through meetings debating policy or watched neighbors argue about baiting ethics, you know the cost. But here, amid innovation and integration, grows a new path forward, one defined not by extermination, but by understanding, not by fear, but by function, not by isolation, but by inclusion. Smart wild boar management in Texas is still unfolding. It will evolve. It will inspire. It will demand collaboration and compromise. But it has already proven one thing. When we meet nature with intelligence, empathy, and commitment, even chaos can be channeled. Even destruction can be turned toward restoration. And even wild boars can become part of a sustainable future. In the deep silence of untouched forests, where the mist curls low across the ground and the air carries the scent of pine and earth, a powerful figure emerges. The brown bear, a creature older than memory, larger than life. With muscles rippling beneath a coat of dense fur and eyes that glimmer with ancient wisdom, this giant commands the wild like a monarch without a crown. Stretching across North America, Europe, and Asia, brown bears make their homes where humans rarely tread, dense woods, high mountains, and cold rivers hidden in the folds of the earth. Their massive paws crush fallen leaves as they pass like ghosts through the wilderness. Each step they take tells the story of survival. The brown bear is more than a species, it is a symbol. For centuries, people have looked at these animals and seen themselves, strong, resilient, and fiercely independent. Their power isn't just physical, it's spiritual. From Siberian folklore to Native American legends, the bear stands tall as a protector, a warrior, a spirit guide. But this deep respect hasn't always spared them. Instead, it made them targets. Their image as a worthy adversary made the bear the ultimate trophy, and that admiration turned deadly. For generations, humans have pursued brown bears not only for sport, but for their meat, fur, claws, and teeth. Trophies taken from creatures who never asked to fight. Some see it as tradition, others call it necessary. But a darker truth lingers beneath the surface. Was it truly about survival, or was it about dominance, proving man could conquer nature's mightiest? This question still echoes today. In remote forests and icy mountains, brown bears are tracked by hunters who believe managing their numbers is vital. But every shot fired, every life taken, sparks fresh debate. Is hunting a necessary tool of balance or a cruel relic of our past? Conservationists argue that each lost bear is a piece of the wild torn away, a story cut short. And when you stand before a creature so powerful, so aware, it becomes hard to see it as just a number. What's more, brown bears are not just brutes of muscle. They are thinkers, problem solvers, survivors. Their sharp senses and keen memory make them masters of their domain. They know the land better than any map. They feel the shift of seasons before the first leaf falls or snowflake drifts. They are nature's barometer, sensing what comes before it arrives. And that connection to earth, to time, to instinct, is what makes their story so captivating. Yet, despite their strength, They are vulnerable. Habitat loss, human expansion, climate, shifts, and illegal poaching continue to chip away at their kingdom. Once roaming freely across continents, many bear populations are now confined to isolated pockets, watching the human world grow larger and louder around them. And still, they endure. Still, they fight, because survival is in their blood. Standing. Nearly 10 feet tall when upright and weighing up to 1,500 pounds, a brown bear is a force of nature. But their true power lies in balance, the calm before the charge, the silence before the growl. They teach us something vital. Strength isn't chaos, it's control. A bear does not destroy because it can. It chooses when to fight, when to walk away, when to simply exist in peace. If we listened, we might learn from them. But instead, we debate their fate. In some regions, hunting is regulated and defended as a method to protect livestock or reduce conflict. In others, bears are declared sacred, and any harm to them is met with fierce resistance. These two worlds, one that hunts, one that protects, continue to collide. And caught in the middle is a creature that simply wants to live as it always has, far from roads and fences, in the heart of the wild. So what does the brown bear truly symbolize? Power? Wisdom? Survival? Or is it something more? Something we've forgotten in our rush to dominate nature? Perhaps they are the last reminder that the wild still breathes, still fights, still watches us with eyes that have seen the rise and fall of empires. As humans reshape the world, the brown bear stands, at the edge of our influence, deciding whether to retreat, adapt, or confront. And in their decision lies a reflection of our own nature. Do we coexist with power? Or do we try to control it until there's nothing left to share? In that moment, as the bear lifts its nose to the wind and sniffs the future, we face a choice. The brown bear may not speak our language, but its presence tells a story we desperately need to hear. A story of balance, of strength tempered by wisdom, of wilderness clinging to its last defenders. If we lose that voice, the forests will fall, silent in a way we can never fix. And the echo of the bear's last roar may one day haunt us more than we expect. They come without warning. In the pale light of dawn or the dead of night, they slip through the tall grass and vanish just as quickly. For ranchers in Wyoming, the wolf is not a myth or a bedtime story. It's a relentless predator with eyes that watch from the tree line and teeth that leave behind nothing but broken silence. These wolves don't just take livestock. They take security. They take sleep. They take years of work in a single night. One missing sheep might not seem like much to some, but when it's hundreds, when it's constant, when every new morning brings another count of the dead, then it becomes something else entirely. It becomes war. The average loss is estimated at around $200 per animal. But the numbers are only part of the truth. The real cost is harder to calculate. It's the anxious footsteps out to the pasture each morning. It's the helplessness of finding nothing but torn fleece and blood in the snow. It's the financial strain, yes, but also the emotional toll. Every rancher has a story. A night they remember too clearly, a sound they can't forget. Some remember the eerie stillness before an attack. Others recall the sudden panic of a scattered herd. Each attack is a lesson in vulnerability. And as the wolf population grows, the scale of destruction grows with it. Across the country, wolf-related livestock damage is estimated to exceed $30 million annually. That's not just a number on a spreadsheet, it's entire communities living on the edge. It's generational farms under threat. It's an industry being pushed into survival mode. And for every rancher forced to quit, another way of life vanishes. But it's not just the wolves. It's the frustration with systems that move too slowly. It's the regulations that feel more protective of predators than people. As wolves return to habitats long lost, the lines between wilderness and farmland blur. Nature reclaims what once was hers, but the cost of this balance is being paid by those who live on that border. And now, tens of thousands of voices are rising. From remote valleys to Capitol Hill, people are demanding change, stronger protections, faster response times, real compensation for real loss. These are not empty demands. These are calls for justice, for fairness, for respect. And yet the solutions aren't simple. Some say fences. Others say relocation. Some even call for eradication. But every choice carries consequences. A fragile ecosystem hangs in the balance. Wolves are not villains. They are part of a system older than we can comprehend. But how do you defend tradition without destroying nature? That's the riddle every farmer now faces. And when you're out there alone with your land, your animals, your livelihood on the line, philosophy fades. All that matters is protection. Because when the howls rise again and the shadows begin to move, you can't wait for a study or a debate. You act or you lose. So how would you protect what's yours? Would you turn to technology, dogs, guns, fences? Would you rely on the government or take matters into your own hands? The choice is deeply personal, and yet it affects us all. Because this isn't just about wolves. It's about the future of farming, the limits of coexistence, the cost of preservation. It's about how we decide who belongs and who pays the price. In the wild heart of Wyoming, where the soil still carries the stories of those who came before, that question grows louder with every passing night. And the wolves, they are still listening.